astrologer Courtney Ingham here. Thank you for joining me for my daily astrology transmissions. Please note, timeframes for the transits mentioned are always in Eastern Standard Time. And here's today's transit transmission. Hi Astro friends, it's Courtney with your weekly overview for May the 7th through the 14th. And the 14th is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day for all you mothers, anyone that is mothering out there in the world. You are loved. And there is very supportive energy for mothers because guess what? Venus is in the sign of the mother, which is Cancer. So we all love mothers now during this Mother's Day season. How exciting. Okay, so the big energies this week, we've got about 4 days where there's what I would call big energy, and it feels like a building energy, sort of building towards something, not building towards some big climactic moment. In fact, it's almost like we start with a climactic moment and then we kind of steady out, but in a very thoughtful way. Whatever that means, right, Courtney? Okay, so the big energy this week is we have another Cazami day. We have the Sun in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And you're probably getting very used to me talking about this energy because we've had several of these happening in the previous weeks. So what it is when we have a Cazami is that the sun passes over another planet and they're next to each other. They're conjunct. They're not actually next to each other. They're very, very far away from each other, but they're within orb of each other and their energies are shared. And the planet that passes through the sun, we actually call it passing through the heart of the sun. And the heart is the sun's core and vitality, and it is therefore infused with the energy of that planet and pumps that energy out. And of course, everyone here on Earth is going to experience that energy. So what is the energy of the sun conjunct Uranus? Well, Uranus is a wild planet. It's the planet of freedom. So it may be a day where you decide to just forego any structure, plans, routines you may have had in place and just throw all caution to the wind and do something a little different. It may actually be a big inspiration to make a massive change in a lot of our structures and a lot of the things that we do, and especially our patterns, because again, this is happening in the energy of Taurus. So Taurus holds the energy of our values. It's very grounding to this energy, but I think what it actually means is that the very energy of Taurus and the routineness of Taurus and the groundedness of Taurus and the regular predictability-ness of Taurus is what's going to sort of be disrupted in this Uranus energy when it starts to influence us on Tuesday. And you may already feel this, especially if you, like I, have a planet conjunct. So in this energy, this is like your opportunity to let your freak flag fly. And you may have a difficult time holding back from that. It just is the way the day goes. And of course, the energies will be felt at least the day before and day after. So you guys might already be experiencing this. I feel a bit like I am feeling this for sure since I have a planet involved in this. So under this influence, it can also encourage sudden and unexpected things to happen. So in the energy of Taurus, if you do have a lot of Taurus energy, or you have a lot of fixed energy, that may be like, no, that's unsettling, I don't like it. But the fixed energy oftentimes is the energy that can really use that kind of thing. People could act spontaneously or unexpectedly. They could act rebelliously. They could have an urge to do things differently. So expect that to be the case. On Wednesday, we're going to have a sort of continuation or support for this energy as the moon moves into Aquarius, which is ruled by good old Uranus. This is a very Aquarius week. Then on Thursday, Venus in Cancer is going to sextile the North Node in Taurus. And what this could mean is that we are attracted to, or we get connected with people or influences that contribute to our development on our path. And it is likely an alignment of some sort around our values aligning with our soul's purpose. So this is like a big deal. It's not, just some, I'm getting, I aligned with my path today. It's, like these are big energies. They don't just happen in a day. These are things that like set up, and it is felt for quite some time. This is rather big energy, and I feel that this is that building energy that we feel from Thursday through Saturday, actually, because if you hear these other transits going on, there is so much compatibility and so much that's sort of in the same theme. For instance, on Friday, Mercury, which is in retrograde in Taurus, sextile Saturn in Pisces. And this is going to encourage us to be thinking critically about what direction our spiritual path is taking. And that is because Saturn in Pisces is in a very spiritual sign, and Saturn does encourage this critical thinking, and Mercury retrograde absolutely is going to encourage us to reflect. That's what we're doing. We're not like taking actions. Right now we're reflecting and we're preparing for when the time comes when we're going to be taking action. Now we're then going to later that same day at 10:43 p.m., Venus in Cancer sextiling Mercury in Taurus. And this is an opportunity for us to further assess our values going forward and our relationships, potentially our finances as well, because we have Venus involved. And we're going to start to create structure that will support us as we move forward. Remember, Venus is still also in that North Node influence. So she's kind of like consulting with Mercury as Mercury's been reflecting, and she's like, oh, hey, Mercury, like what have you connected with? What points have you found and discovered? And Mercury's been connecting with Saturn, who's this like wise teacher in the sign of Pisces right now. And so I sort of see it as like a lot of connecting of the dots happening, so that we can have these efforts that are letting us slide ever more in line with our ultimate path and goals here. And this is mirrored in the energies of Saturday, the 13th, when Venus trines Saturn. So she's talking to the North Node, and then she's talking to Mercury, and then she's going to go and consult Saturn. And Saturn is sort of this fatherly energy that's supportive of Venus. It's very supportive. And he's sort of seeing the long-term vision of where all this planning and reflection on our values and our path and our relationships going. And he sort of allows Venus to stand on his shoulders. That's how I see this. And just look around and see what he's been looking at and seeing and observing and getting that view. And after that happens, this trine between Saturn and Venus is a way of finalizing or committing. It's a commitment. It's a long-term commitment to the plan, to a new way of working through this energy. So if we reflect back on this week as a whole, we start off with this big Uranus Cazami that is throwing everything that we've had routine and structure around up in the air and giving us a new spin, some suggestions, some quirky little thoughts on how we can change things up. And we're actually like, okay, we're going to consider this. And then on Thursday, we've got Venus starting to consult with the higher power. She's consulting with the North Node, and she's like, hey, I got some big downloads from Uranus. Let's see what's going on here. And then, of course, Mercury is involved and gives his feedback. And then Venus connects with Saturn. Maybe we're taking a slightly different path and than we thought we were going to be taking. And this is exciting. This is very exciting energy for this week. And I actually wanted to end by sharing with you guys that for Christmas, Mark got me a journal. I actually asked for this because I really wanted it, by the Honeycomb Collective. And it has the daily transits written in the journal with a little space for you to write your notes, but it also has every single day a little snippet about where these daily transits may be affecting my natal chart. So I know that on Tuesday, the Uranus Cazami is going to be conjunct my Venus, because it actually says so. It says so in my little journal here, and I just love that. And it's got so much more information than just that, but that's what I use. And it has beautiful artwork, and I would tell you who the artist is, except my kitten, for some reason, likes to play with this journal, and probably because I always have it open. And I left it open one day, and she scratched up the first page. For some reason, she's very much, it's like shredded. And that's where the artist's name was. But the artist does a picture, a beautiful picture for every sign, and incorporates plants. And I love plants. So this was like a big win-win for me to connect with nature and plants and astrology. So I just wanted to share with you guys for Taurus season, the plants that are illustrated are ginkgo, plantain, flax, and elderberry. I just love the idea of connecting what is growing with the signs and just using that as yet another way to really experience the energies. And I've been harvesting a lot of wild edibles. That is one of my favorite pastimes, is to be in the woods and harvest. I made a garlic pesto on Friday, and I try to eat something wild every day, or just do something with the plants that are available, or just available to be, connect with and experienced. And that's kind of our conversations that we can have with them. And today I'm actually watching my neighbor's chickens, and they have these wild apple trees that are in bloom, and I just love this season right now where the cherry blossoms are out and the apple blossoms are out. And I said, oh my goodness, I know what I'm going to do. I have been into making organite, but I'm in the process of making 2 pyramids. And I said, I want to preserve these beautiful apple blossoms. And so I selected little clusters and then put them in my organite that I'm making. And I just added some beautiful rose quartz and copper. And I was happy as can be. And, nature does that for me. It's my happy place, especially this time of the year. And, being able to go and forage is one of my favorite things to do. My heart is really happy. I am definitely happiest in the woods. So I wanted to share that with you as a means of encouraging you this week to connect with the night sky, which have been studying the astronomy of the winter sky with the kids. And it's been really a cool experience. And also another way that you can connect with the current astrology is through crystals. So I just wanted to share some of the crystals for the sign of Taurus in case you happen to have them and you want to grab one when you meditate or put one on your altar. Taurus rules the neck and the throat. And I'll tell you, I've been to several different sites, and I do feel that it really there's some commonalities, but also a lot of offerings and recommendations. So if you know and you'd like to contribute your thoughts, please do leave a comment on what crystals you use to connect with the Taurus energy. And I will share now what I found on the internet. So, emerald, topaz, and it says that topaz stands for trustworthy and artistic. Lapis, it makes you confident, sensible, and down to earth. I do like lapis. Tiger's eye, this seems very Taurus-y to me. Strong-willed, practical, and ambitious. And then rose quartz, which is for the heart chakra, but I guess it relates to Taurus. Dependable and sensual, it says. Other sites say citrine, aventurine, and malachite are Taurus crystals. And I wanted to share with you the tissue salt. So I do offer biochemical cell salt readings for your particular chart. It takes into consideration much more than your sun sign. However, the sun sign Taurus biochemical cell salt is nat sulf. And because Taurus rules the glands and the throat, nat sulf is a great one. It is a cleansing salt. It actually is helpful for the liver, for the lymphatics. It helps detox the body. Since it is Mother's Day on Sunday, I'm going to be putting my virtual childbirth ed course on sale, and you can find a link to that in the show notes. My virtual birth class has been available for over 15 years, and this is a completely holistic class that focuses on mind-body tools, herbs, homeopathy, and various techniques to support a natural childbirth. There are also partner support activities so that you can bring your partner into the lessons as well. I have to say, this course is my pride and joy. I very much have always had an affinity for birth. I am a certified birth doula. I've had the privilege to attend many births, and it is one of my many passions. You can find out more again by looking in the show notes, and I will be back tomorrow with your transit reports. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to this astrology forecast. If you enjoyed it, I encourage you to like or comment and share it with your friends and encourage them to subscribe. If you'd like to find out more about my astrology readings, you can go to courtneybook.wixsite.com/astrology. There you'll find a list of the readings that I offer.